don't know if he was. I just think this guy's just come some a crazy asshole. And that really has something against gay and lesbian people, and probably because he was gay himself, and he wanted to take out. He hated himself, and he wanted to take his frustrations out on these other people. I don't know if it's really a gun control issue. I think there are just a lot of crazy, evil people in the world that are just so hateful that they'll just take the lives of other people because they're not happy with themselves. I think it's as simple as that. And all this other stuff is just extra shit, you know? I really do believe that this guy was just an evil person, to his heart and soul. Probably was a little mental. I don't even know, you know, whether he was mentally ill or not. I think sometimes you could just be evil. You just have evil in your heart to where you want to go, you know, and just take the lives of innocent people away. I'm definitely, the most important thing is not about gun control or terrorism or ISIS or, you know, whether this guy was Muslim or, the most important thing is the victims and the families of the victims and everyone that has been affected by this tragedy. That's the most important thing, and maybe that's really the only thing we really should focus on more than anything else. All those other issues are important, but you know, and I just feel so bad for people that wanted, you know, this was at a club. This was around 2 in the morning, I think. And all these people were just out to have a good time. Forget whether it's a gay club or a straight club or whatever. Everybody in that club, whether they were gay, straight, or otherwise, were out to have a good time. And no one expected to die that night. That's why you really should cherish, you know, I preach this all the time, but you really should cherish life because it's so precious and it's so fleeting. And at any time, you know, everything could get taken away from us. So, you know, I don't go out as much as I used to, you know, when I was in my 20s. I used to go out all the time. Well, not all the time, but I go out a whole hell of a lot more than I do now. Pretty much all I do now is work and come home. I pull a lot of hours. This week I'm working close to 60 hours. Last week I worked close to 50 hours. I just work and I go see about my mom. I don't go out to a lot of clubs. But, you know, like I said, I'm now in my 30s. I have more responsibilities and more things to do in life. But in my 20s, I went out and I know the mindset of these people that were in this club. They were probably, you know, going through a lot of things in their normal lives, you know, having a stressful week, and you just want to go out on the weekend or relax and unwind with your friends or with somebody that you love, and then this guy comes in and just ruins the lives of everybody that was in the club. You know, even the people that survive, or, you know, I was just looking at a video on Facebook about this one guy that was talking about how the guy came in and shot him, I guess, in the arm or the hand or whatever. And he was like, he knew he was going to die, but he pretended to be dead. And that's the only way that he survived, is he pretended that he was dead. Which is not a bad idea or a bad tactic. Probably would do that. I probably would do the same thing. I don't think it's an act of being a coward either. I think, you know, these people weren't expecting to go into a war zone. They, you know, they just wanted to go out and have a party. Or go out and, you know, turn up and get their drink on. And this is what happens. It's very, very tragic. And, very, very reminiscent of 9/11. If you were in America during that time, I remember 9/11 vividly because, I was actually, not too long after that happened, I had to fly to basic training when, I was in the Navy for a little bit, and I had to fly out to basic training. not too long after 9/11, I was terrified to fly. Already because I had never flew before. So, but then when 9/11 happened, I was really, really terrified of flying, and because it was such a tragic thing, and this is one of those things, much like that. This is very, very tragic. This is going to affect people for a very, very long time. I know here in Enterprise, Alabama, my hometown, this little small town, we've had our own dose of tragedy on March 1st, 2007, when the tornadoes hit. We had two twister tornadoes actually come together. I think it was a total of 3 tornadoes. It hit on that day, March 1st, 2007. I'll never forget because it was just a few days before my birthday when it happened. Tornadoes converged and it hit Enterprise High School and destroyed our high school here in town. My sister was in the school when it happened. And I know every year when March 1st comes up, it affects a lot of my friends, a lot of my sister's friends, a lot of people that I know have been affected by that tornado. And that was in 2007. It's 2016 now. So imagine being in this club in Orlando when this guy came in and started shooting the club up. It's going to affect you and stay with you forever. I don't care if you live another 50 years. I don't care if you live another 60 to 70 years. If you're going to always remember that night. Somebody maybe right next to you was killed probably, if you survived, if you were blessed enough to be survived. But like I said, everybody that was in there that night was affected by it. I want to get off this topic because it's very, very sad and very kind of down. It's a downer, but it's something that I need to talk about, need to address. I know another really, really horrible, horrific thing that happened was how they were talking about the next day, the next morning, I guess, when the police that came to the crime scene and all the dead bodies, I guess, of the 49 or 50 people that were dead. The cell phone, when the news hit that this of the tragedy of the shooting, all the crime scene investigator dude was just talking about how horrific. It was the most horrific crime scene he had ever been to where all the dead bodies were laying there in the club and all the cell phones were going off from family members calling the people to make sure they were okay, and then the people were already dead. Think about that. Just think about that for a moment. How really horrific and horrible that is. I don't know, man. That's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, you just really got to pray for all these people, pray for the families. I know if my grandma was still alive, she would say, she was very deeply religious, and she would say that we were in the end of days, the end of times. And there's certainly, if you are a religious person, there's certainly evidence of that. This could be it. For a number of reasons, not just this shooting or all the horrible things that happened, but there's a lot of evidence it could be the end of times. But hopefully I'm able to get in a few more podcasts or several more episodes before the world ends, hopefully. But, or before, something tragic happens to me, God forbid, knock on wood. I just knocked on wood. I don't want to. They say if you voice things into the universe, they will happen. I don't want to voice something in the universe. Hopefully, nothing terrible or tragic happens to anybody listening to this episode or listening to me right now. Hopefully we all live to be gray and old, and hopefully in 90 years old I'm still doing this podcast. But It's getting real out there. It's not just in Orlando. We've had several shootings here in Enterprise. I know, some of my friends in Chicago, I know how rough Chicago is right now. It's getting rough everywhere. People, just crazy people that people just don't give a fuck anymore. They will just kill you for nothing. I pretty much walk everywhere I have to go because of my cyst in my brain. I'm not allowed to drive. So even at night, I used to always feel comfortable, walking at night. But even if I go to the store at night or go to the ATM or go to the mailbox or, go anywhere at night, I'm really, really observant and aware of the things that are going on around me, just because there's just so much crazy stuff going on. Somebody could just walk up on me. In fact, just the other night, I gotta mention this since I just thought about it. Just the other night, I was going to McDonald's to take my friend something, and on my way to McDonald's, it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. This dude kind of rolled up on me and was asking me for, how people just catch you while you're going somewhere and ask for money, whether it be change or, $1 here or there. And this dude, he asked me if I had $1, let him hold $1, which really, I don't know why they say let him hold $1. They really want you to give them $1. That's what they want. And I told him I didn't have any cash, which I don't even remember if I did or if I didn't, but that's typically what I say to people when they ask me for money. But I said, no, I don't have anything on me right now. And he was like, motherfucker, or something like that. This was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I just kind of I put my earphones in and I kind of just walked away from the dude. Because who knows, if I would have said something to him, I don't know this guy. Maybe he might have something on him. He might just pull out a gun and just blow me away just because I didn't give him $1. Who knows? It's crazy shit like that. That's what I'm saying. People are crazy. Whether they're terrorists, whether they're Muslims, whether they're Christians, whether they're rednecks, whether they're, thugs. People are crazy all over. All different races and colors. And sizes and shapes. People are just nuts. And they will kill you. And not even think twice about it, That's just like old boy shooting the dude in Chrono Lodge here in Enterprise. I know him, that guy, Emmett. He finally turned himself in after a few days of running from the police after he shot that guy. He turned himself in to Crawford County Police. A lot of y'all know Emmett. But it's just getting real out there. It really is. The title of this episode is What's Going On. And I would just implore everybody that can hear the sound of my voice, no matter what you do, no matter what time of day it is, what time of night it is, just be careful. Be careful what you do. Especially if you're, this is for anybody, but especially if you're a female. Be very, very careful of what's going on around you. And just be careful because it's real out there. I don't know. I think I said that like 5 or 6 times. But it's really real out there. I just want to just drill it into your head how important it is. How things can happen at the blink of an eye. Here today, gone tomorrow. Just like that, you could be gone. Over nothing. Over just pissing somebody off. Or, they just hate you because you're gay. Or they hate you because you're black. Or they hate you because they're white. People will kill you for no good reason at all. But, speaking of tragic events, since I'm on this whole tragedy kick, and since we're talking about tragic things, I didn't get a chance to discuss this in my last podcast because it happened right after I recorded like a day or two after I recorded my last episode. I talked about the passing